The character of Suigintou appears in the anime of Rozen Maiden, although he is not the main character if he is one of the most beloved of his series. In his first appearances plays the character of villain, but as the series progresses becomes a character more calm and somewhat comic, which gives him a very good reason to appear more and more in the anime. Also in the last season that came out, you'll be able to see more and has serious fights as comic fights. Suigintou is one of the 7 dolls in the Rozen Maiden collection and the first to be created. It was crafted by Rozen, an ancient artificer. This figure has an enigmatic and shady past, as it is the only one in the collection that is incomplete. It maintains a rather marked rivalry with Suigintou, another of the Rozen Maiden, which goes back many years. The publisher Tokyo Pop, in charge of adapting the manga into English and German versions, changed her name to Suigintou and later changed it back to Suigintou. Her greatest aspiration is to win the Alice game in order to reunite with her father and make him love her, and her desire is so great that she has even hurt human beings in the process. The representation of Suigintou is that of a cruel, frivolous, arrogant doll with an enormous feeling of superiority, wearing black outfits that reflect an ancient dark and malevolent side. Her main rival is Suigintou, whom she has hated for a long time, and is so obsessed with defeating her that every time they meet, she challenges her to a death match in the inevitable Alice game, and counts the minutes since their last confrontation. Suigintou's dark personality begins to change when she meets Megu, a sick girl who is apparently willing to offer her life energy to help Suigintou in the Alice game, but actually desires the mystic roses to heal herself, since, both being incomplete, Megu is missing half of her heart and Suigintou is missing the torso of her body. Although in the anime and manga she has an imperfect back due to her cracked wings, she feels connected to it. Initially, Suigintou's mere will to exist was enough to give her movement, without the need to actually possess the mystic rose, which grants them life. Suigintou did not establish any conscious contract with Megu, rather, Megu met Suigintou when she was returning from her awakening. Suigintou's strong sense of independence, as well as her dislike of humanity, kept her away from the possibility of having a medium. She is also the only Rozen Maiden to have been defeated and revived 3 times. In the manga, her body is damaged by her wings, as she is the only Rozen Maiden to possess them, causing cracks in her back. Despite these flaws, her love for her father and her willpower are so powerful that she can use her powers independently of a medium. Suigintou's narrative is considerably different between manga and anime, resulting in very different developments in each medium. Anime, Rozen Maiden, Season 1. In the first season of the anime, Suigintou goes to great lengths to defeat Suigintou, even dragging her into his infield, a world full of broken dolls, where Suigintou considers herself the only perfect doll, but loses in the final showdown. When she receives her own attack back from Suigintou in June, her body begins to burn and disintegrate, and she dies while mourning her father. However, Suigintou is restored and rejoins the game without knowing the identity of the person who revived her, possibly Rozen. Rozen Maiden, Traumend, Season 2. In the second season, Megu becomes Suigintou's medium by accident. Suigintou's resemblance to Megu's terminal state causes a change in his emotions, which Barasuishu takes advantage of by telling him that he could save Megu with the mystic roses if he agrees to form an alliance. Suigintou accepts the deal and manages to defeat Susiseki, but in the final battle between Suigintou, Suigintou and Barasuishu, she is betrayed by Barasuishu and attacked from behind with a shower of crystals that pierce her and shatter her wings, thus losing the Alice game. Susiseki's mystic rose goes to Barasuishu, attracted by Susiseki's, and Suigintou's own is given to Suigintou, proving that in the end she had a small appreciation for him. Rozen Maiden, Ovacha, OVA. In Rozen Maiden Ovacha, Suigintou and Suigintou are shown to be friends at first, but Suigintou later tells her that she is an incomplete junk object. It is also revealed that Rozen abandoned her without a mystic rose, which she later acquires, and moved her affections elsewhere. When Mega shows Suigintou a bouquet of roses, she destroys it, indicating that she hates roses with all her being, especially since Suigintou's attack is rose petals and is her color. Manga. In the manga, Suigintou is known to be the first doll and, like her sisters, received a Rosa Mystica along with a fairy. As she progresses through the Alice game, Suigintou discovers that, unlike her sisters, she unconsciously absorbs the lives of her masters by making contracts. This led her to decide to win the game without making any more contracts. Suigintou has several unique flaws and features compared to the other 7 Rozen Maidens. In the anime, she lacks part of her torso. Shinku explains on one occasion that before Suigintou was completed, her design was erased, but does not provide further details on why or how it happened. In OVA, it is revealed that Rozen abandoned her work when she was already halfway through the creation of Suigintou. She was never assembled, although her dress was, and as a result, she was not initially granted the life force of a Rosa Mystica. It was her love for Rozen that brought her to life, reviving her even while incomplete, and she crawled completely off the table to seek out her creator. Rozen subsequently granted her a mystic rose, only after she was cut in half by Susiseki and was presumably on the verge of fading away. Interestingly, after Suigintou was destroyed in combat by Shinku at the end of the anime's first season, she is restored in later episodes of Rozen Maiden Suigintou. The identity of the person responsible for her restoration is not revealed, although it is likely to be Rozen. At the end of Suigintou, she tells Shinku that father had told her that she also had the right to become Alice. Later, Rozen is shown affectionately fixing the neck loop and stroking Suigintou's head as she sleeps, and then gently hugs her around the waist, hinting that he has repaired her incomplete body. Suigintou's abilities include launching a shower of sharp black feathers, with which she can generate 2 dragons, a sword, blue fire, and use her own wings to ram by enlarging her size, as well as a shield to protect herself from other attacks. These abilities position her as one of the most powerful competitors in the Alice game, since, despite being incomplete, Rozen had granted her a second chance. She was Shinku's closest companion. Although he despises her, though she is the one he holds most dear, when she was first reborn, Shinku told her that it was not possible for her to have a mystic rose due to a flaw: her torso is missing. When she died for the first time, she fell into the sea of subconsciousness where Rozen bestowed her own mystic rose. She was defeated a second time by Shinku in the infield. Subsequently, she was rebuilt, possibly by Inju or Rozen again. She was killed by Barasuishu, and her mystic rose was taken by Shinku. She was reborn because Barasuishu was not a true Rozen maiden. Suigintou dies at the end of the first season at the hands of Shinku, revealing her imperfection due to father not completing her and missing her stomach. In the second season, Shinku is saddened and depressed by this. Suigintou comes back to life, since Shinku never took his mystic rose from him, making Megu his medium. He fights Susiseki and eliminates her, taking her mystic rose from her. Finally, she faces Shinku in the final Alice game, but is killed by Barasuishu. Her mystic rose is reclaimed by Shinku. In the end, when all the mystic roses return to their respective dolls, except for a few, Suigintou revives once again, but with the flaw in her body repaired, her stomach. In the manga, Suigintou is never defeated by Shinku, and in Rozen Maiden Tales they even go from enemies to the death to friendly rivals just so they can get out of the world without a rope and save Megu from Karakishu. In the anime, it is explained that Suigintou was actually an incomplete prototype of Alice, which is not the case in the manga. Suigintou's design is different in the manga. There she appears much more elegant and beautiful, which only accentuates her dark side. Suigintou already knew Megu for a long time and frequently goes to visit her, but they never made the rose ring contract as in the series, but only until the last moment under the threat of Karakishu. In the manga, Megu and Suigintou seem to have a stronger bond than in the anime. Megu was also the reason Suigintou traveled to Dimension S and declared a truce with Shinku for the two to work together to defeat Karakishu, only to be trapped in a room lined with crystals, where 3 other Rozen maidens later end up. However, Kanaria finds them and frees them. To return to their original world, the now revived Susiseki claims that only she and Susiseki together can return everything to its original form. Reluctantly, Suigintou agrees to return Susiseki's mystic rose to let them combine their powers. After everything returned to its original state, the June of their world returns with Shinku's body and Hinichigo's mystic rose. In the manga, he gets into fights and arguments with Shinku and Kanaria. In the manga, Suigintou does not fight with Susiseki, but at the end of Susiseki attempted with his own life and planned to give his mystic rose to Susiseki before the conversation they had. Suddenly Suigintou arrives and steals his mystic rose unjustly. As you already noticed, Suigintou is an extremely complicated character. I must confess that of all the anime series that I have seen, Rozen Maiden is one of my favorites, and Suigintou is my favorite character of the series, not only for the appearance, which is very good, but also the story and the development he has during the series that goes from being a complete villain to have very childish fights with Shinku, besides being more friendly with the other dolls, especially Shinku. I hope you liked the video. If you want me to bring a video about your waifu, comment it. Do not forget to check the videos of the channel. See you in the next video.